What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I'm going to bring you a test hand combo video for the 6 Samurai profile I've shown you all the other day. Now the idea behind this video is to give you an in-depth look into the deck, how it combos off, what different ways you can play around it, and everything else in between. The deck is incredibly fun, very powerful, and it kind of gives you that vibe of putting everything on your end board, and if they break it, okay, go with it, but you're going to make it incredibly difficult for them to break it. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more upcoming content. What we're going to do here is we'll do a test hand guy first and a test hand guy second because these combos can take a while with the amount of Bushido counters that we are going to accumulate. But the idea is to give you an in-depth kind of commentary over the top as well as a breakdown into the type of plays that I'll be making to show you what the deck can do. Whether you're going to be facing this at your locals or whether you are tempted to build it and give it a go yourself, it will hopefully give you all the information you need to give you a good start with the deck. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you'll miss out on any more upcoming content. After a very decent shuffle and a good old cut, our starting hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, actually a fairly decent hand here. Unfortunately, we will need to sacrifice one of these to be our normal summon, but honestly, you might want to sacrifice the Anarchist to be your normal summon because then that will allow you to save a tuner for later on in the turn. You can start off by activating Dojo. The only downside of activating Dojo here is you need to clear the Bushido counters off it first before you use Asceticism off of the back of the Monk. But because we've got the double strike, you'll be able to do that quite easily. So what we'll do here is we'll start off by normal summoning down the Anarchist, we'll special summon down the Kizan. This is going to ultimately end up putting 2 Bushido counters on the Dojo. You'll then want to put both of these together and go into the Battle Shogun. And at this point, you're going to go Chain Link 1, Battle Shogun, Chain Link 2, Anarchist. It's right at this point here that you really need to think, because it does discard as cost. If you discard the cross out and then your opponent goes Imperm or Veiler on the Battle Shogun, you're gonna cry. However, I feel that with your best protective methods, you're probably going to want to get rid of the double assault. Just for the pure fact that if I get rid of the double assault and my opponent does go for an Imperm or a Veiler, I can protect one cross out. But if my opponent doesn't do anything, then this becomes free discard fodder later on. Like, sometimes it's just not worth the risk. Dojo's going to be on free. We're going to resolve this, so this will allow us to grab us a Asceticism, wherever it may be. So we'll grab the Asceticism, and we'll also grab Gateway. There we go. So you've got 3 counters on Dojo already, which is pretty good, because that's going to be able to get you access to... that'll get you access to Hatsume, which is pretty much everything you could want here. So we're going to activate the Gateway. Of course, if we were able to get another Bushido counter at any position here, then we'd be in a much better position to save the Dojo. You can't really Asceticism now for the Battle Shogun unless you're going to go for a 6 Samurai with 1300 attack, which currently I don't believe any of them exist in the main deck. I'm just going to double check this, 19, 18, and then all of them are like 200s each. So yeah, I don't think there's anything we can Asceticism right now, which is absolutely fine because we'll go directly for the... We'll be able to go directly for Hatsume, and obviously we've got 2 6 Sams in the graveyard, but by summoning out the Hatsume, we'll still be able to accumulate some Bushido counters, and that'll let us go a little bit further. So we'll get rid of the Dojo, getting rid of all 3 Bushido counters. This will then allow us to go into Hatsume. Actually, no, let's not go Hatsume. What am I talking about? We'll just go straight for a Tactical Trainer. That was crazy. Tactical Trainer is the better option. Because then that sets us up the Asceticism target. So this will then allow us to put 2 Bushido counters on the Gateway. We'll put 1 Bushido counter on the Battle Shogun. And now we can Asceticism onto the Tactical Trainer. This will then allow us to get a Kageki from the deck. Kageki will then go here to our Shogun. This will then go up to 2 Bushido counters. This will then go up to 4 Bushido counters. We'll then be able to synchro these 2 together. Unfortunately, the double strike is in the graveyard, so our Tactical Master isn't going to do anything for us. Big sad. But we'll be able to synchro into a 5, so we'll synchro into the Legendary Lord Xian. So this gives 3 onto here, and this will go up to 6. So now what we want to try and do is we want to try and work our way into a synchro level 6, which is actually relatively doable. So we haven't actually specialed this from the hand. We haven't specialed this from the hand yet either, so we've got loads we can still play with. So we'll take away 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to add 2. So the 2 you're going to want to add is you're going to want to add the Tactical Master or the Tactical Trainer, and you're going to want to add a Kizan from the deck. There we go. Special summon down the Kizan to a zone the Battle Shogun points to, puts that up to 2, and then puts 2 counters on your gateway. You can then special summon down the Tactical Trainer, which will then put this up to 4. You'll then synchro these two together, and this will get you into the brand new Shien. There we go. This will then put a 3rd counter on here, and this will put 6 counters on here in total. And you'll also be able to trigger the Lord Shien effect to search you out, and I'm going to search out the Battle Shogun. Oh, sorry, the Great Shogun Shien. So now we've got an accumulation of 9 Bushido counters as it currently stands, which is absolutely fine because that's going to get us 2 more extenders to the board. And this is when you're going to start going into Saruja plays and everything else in between. So you're pretty much covering all your bases now. You've got a Monster Negate, you've got a Spell Negate. We're still going to be able to work our way into a huge amount more, so don't worry. So we'll take away 6 off the gateway. We'll take away... actually, let's take away all 3 off of here. And let's take away all bar 1 on here. So this will then allow us to grab the final Kizan from the deck. And this will also allow us to grab the final Grandmaster. Now, keeping in mind, we still have the ability to special summon down the Anarchist when we get it back, which we'll get back a little bit later on, because what we're going to do is we're going to go, cool, special summon down Grandmaster, special summon down Kizan, special summon down Great Shogun. Shogun doesn't produce you any Bushido counters, but of course Gateway will do off of the back of Grandmaster and Kizan. So this is going to put you straight up to 5. So you're in a very good position here already. Then use Master, Battle Shogun, Kizan, and Great Shogun. And this will let you get into a Saruja. So put Saruja over here. This will then allow you to draw 4. Now you could deck thin 1 off of the back of Gateway, but the reason I haven't done that now is I'm going to see if I draw one of the targets that I want, and then I can just add back if I need to. So this will then let us draw 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to put 3 back. So I'm going to put back both crossouts, and we'll put back a Dojo. We're going to put back all 3 of those. We will then rotor into any warrior that we want. So we'll go for... I mean, Kizaru can add me a wind or a water, but I'm not going to be able to get them to the board if I summon them down. But it will give me a bit more advantage. So let's rotor for Hatsume. I just like Hatsume. I think what it provides is so much better. So then what we'll do is we'll special summon down the Hatsume off of the back of the Skull Dread. This then puts this up to 7. 7 Bushido counters. Keep in mind, you want to make sure that this ends up having 6 on it, because by having 6 on it in the end, maybe I should have kept the Dojo instead of Kizaru. We'll put the Kizaru back and we'll go for the Dojo. I was tempted to summon the Kizaru off and search, but then I think it ultimately got me nowhere. So we'd summon that, we'd activate the Dojo, and then this would get 1 on it as well. So now what we want to do here is we want Hatsume to become... Do we want it to become a 5 or do we want it to become a 6? Maybe Hatsume doesn't need to become anything. Let's go with banishing the Battle Shogun, and let's banish a Kageki. And then let's bring back... Let's go for an 8, right? So I'm going to bring back Anarchist. And the reason, or the way that I'm going to go for an 8 is this is going to go up to 2. This will then go up to 3. We'll then be able to take away 6, 7, 8. Let's take away 8. We'll just add 2 back. So we'll add back a Kizan and we'll add back a Grandmaster. I'll special summon down the Grandmaster, which will then put this back up to 1. And this will go up to 5. We'll then synchro these two together. This then gives us an 8, which is an Omega, which will allow us to kind of like tip away out of our opponent's hand, which is really helpful. We'll take away 6 off of this again. We'll add back the Anarchist that we haven't specialed from the hand yet, and we'll add back the Grandmaster. So now what you can do here is you can special summon down the Anarchist, which will then put this back onto 2. And this will go onto 1. You can then synchro these two together for a 6, which will give you another Monster Negate. The Shien will then produce 2 more Bushido counters onto here and 1 more back onto here, which now means you've got 6 into play. I'm trying to think how much further we want to go. The Saruja kind of holds you down a little bit, but nothing too wild. Because what you can do here is you can go Omega to banish. This would then allow you to rip one from your opponent's hand, so you put them down to 4. Do I want 2 Kizans in rotation? Yeah, sure. Let's add an Abyss Dweller to the board, because why not? Summon down Kizan. This puts this up to 3. This puts this up to 6. We'll take away 4 from the Gateway, which will allow us to add a second Kizan. Oh, hello. special summon down Keyzan, puts this up to 4, puts this up to 4. Overlay both of these into an Abyss Dweller. Obviously, you could go into Daguerreas if you want to, but you're not bringing back anything that's going to allow you to go much further. Like you could go into Daguerreas, you'd skip your main phase by bringing one back from the grave, but you're not bringing anything back that's going to like massively help you right now. And what I mean by that is you'd do this, you'd put these two together, and then you'd basically add a IP into an SP to your board, which I suppose isn't so bad. And then it's entirely up to you where you'd want to go from here. So you could get rid of the dojo, summon one from the deck, but there's not really anything worth summoning. So what I would end up doing is I would take away 4 from the dojo and 2 from the gateway, which would then allow you to revive a Shien from the graveyard. So we'll revive the Great Shogun Shien. So now what you would end up doing is your board is currently set to be 2 monster negates, a spell negate. Once they've activated 2 spells, because they would activate the first one, which if it threatens the board, you use Shien to negate it, and then they would activate another one, and you go, okay, cool, that's your only spell you're going to be able to activate for the turn. Then you would go IP Masquerena, use its effect to get rid of itself and Skull Dread, and this would then allow you to go into SP. Of course, if you wanted to, you could get rid of any of the other Shiens on the board. You wouldn't want to get rid of this one, but the idea is you've got 2 monster negates, you've got a spell and trap negate, you've got a spell and trap limitation, and then you'll get a banish off of SP, and then if they activate anything else, you can go SP banish this. And the reason you'd banish your Shien is that this will then allow you to, like, you can do this, or you'd banish the card that they put on the board. But the reason you do this is that when SP comes back during the end phase, this would then reset. So if they have anything to activate in the end phase after that, you could reset this. But that's just a little very niche interaction. You don't have to do that. The idea is you'd still just do SP, banish, banish. The only downside is, if you use SP Little Knight, when this comes back, it means Omega stays where it is. Which, I suppose it isn't that bad, because it means the card that your opponent would bring back can't come back, which is quite funny. But ultimately, you would end up going, cool, draw phase, skip your main phase 1, because that's pretty cracked, but I'll talk about that later. Skip your main phase 1 because of your Daguerreas, and then you go battle phase, and you've got 25 there, 25 there, 25 there, 25 there, 16 there. So like you've pushed in for an OTK, and then you drew a Cunning for turn. So you can Cunning, send the Legendary Lord, and then bring the Legendary Lord back, and that would complete your OTK. While also setting up Gateway. So even if they were able to survive, you'd still be able to go crazy. So yeah, that was pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. This is why I like Omega. Like, I understand the FTK version of this deck. It doesn't mean I'm a fan of the FTK version of the deck. I think it just takes forever. It's like, okay, cool, so you keep needing to loop. If you don't do any damage to your opponent, you need to loop Gaga Cowboy 10 times. And I'm like, I ain't got the patience for that. But then I suppose you kind of hope that your opponent sees the writing on the walls and knows that it's that's what's going to happen, that they just keep looping it. But then I think they can also declare, I'm pretty sure they can just say, right, well, this phase of play that I've just done with Augusto Emerald and everything, I'm going to do this 10 more times. But then you also need to get a little bit careful on that one, because you go, okay, cool, do it 10 more times then, in case they mess up. And if they mess it up, you're like, well, cool, you haven't completed the FTK. But then if they don't mess up, you end up burning away your own time, because they're going to be up a duel anyway. So it only kind of, unless you win round 1 and they win round 2 through that FTK, it doesn't really benefit anyone. Regardless, I digress. Now what we'll do is we'll go second, just so you can see, but at the end of the day, that combo, the exact same kind of play that we made in turn 1, if we make that in turn 2, you have enough to OTK anyway. So we will shuffle up, we will cut up, and our starting hand of 6 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm pretty sure we would have double impermed our opponent, but if you want to hold an imperm back, you can do. And we need a 6 Samurai monster to play. Okay, that's a 6 Samurai monster. So activate United, activate Dojo, normal summon your Tactical Master. We will get 1 Bushido counter here, we'll get 1 Bushido counter here. We'll use Dojo. Unfortunately, sending that for Fuma, which will put a second Bushido counter here. Unfortunately, this isn't ideal. Like, you have to burn off so much resource here. It's crazy. But I suppose it's with 2 imperms. You would expect that if you've 2 impermed your opponent, their board's going to be massively weaker. The only downside is you don't get to play around a hand trap. So you probably want to hold back an imperm just so you can play around a hand trap, so that you could use Crossout Designator. Now, you can use United to draw you 2 new cards, but the 2 new cards, I'm trying to think if it's worth it. So the 2 new cards would need to be... The 2 new cards would need to be an extender of some form or another. That's basically how it is. If you gamble the United right now, you need an extender. If you don't gamble the United, you'll actually be okay. So it really is up to you. Gamble it or not. If we did gamble, what would we get? We'd get a Kizaru, not going to be helpful, and an Asceticism. The Asceticism actually would be helpful, but we're not going to gamble it. I mean, you probably should. But it's so risky. Basically what I'm saying is, you'd activate United, you'd get rid of that, so there'd be nothing there. You would then be able to get a Gateway, you'd get Gateway with no protection. So if they imperm or Veiler you, that's it. Whereas if you use the United, you get that additional discard fodder, which means you get to keep the Crossout Designator, which lets you play through an imperm or a Veiler. So if you want to be protective and risky, or you don't. But if you don't draw an extender off the back of this, you wouldn't be able to go anywhere, because you would go United, draw 2, and if none of them are an extender, you'd go Chaining 1, Chaining 2, but then you'd only have Gateway with 3 Bushido counters on the board, whereas now we'll end up having 4. So I'll show you what I mean. So you link both of these together, you'd go into the Battle Shogun, Chaining 1 Battle Shogun, Chaining 2 Tactical Master, discarding the Crossout, hope and pray they don't have an Imperm and a Veiler. This will then get you Gateway and your 6 strike. So double strike and Gateway. You'd then activate the Gateway, you'd activate the double assault. This will then allow you to bring back any of your monsters from the graveyard. Let's bring back the Tactical Master, because we're going to get Kizan. This would then put 2 Bushido counters here. This would then put 1 Bushido counter here. You'd then remove 2 Bushido counters from the United, 2 from the Gateway, which will get you your Kizan. Wherever it may be. Kizan, special down Kizan. This goes up to 2, this goes up to 1, this goes up to 2. We would then synchro these two together, go into Shien. This would then go up to 3, this would then go up to 4, this would go up to 2. Effect of this would allow you to search. So this will get you Anarchist, I guess. Do we go for Anarchist? Yeah, go Anarchist. So grab the Anarchist to get you a follow-up for the next turn later on. You'd then remove 2 from your United and 2 from Gateway. This would then grab you a Grandmaster. And then we'll remove 2 from Gateway, we'll remove 2 from here to grab your Kizan. Maybe I should have gone for the Battle Shogun instead, but that's probably what I should have gone for. Yeah, we should have done it the other way around. So off of this, we search the Great Shogun, and then off of this that we've just removed, we'll grab the Anarchist. Always got to be thinking. Okay, cool. So then we'll special summon down the Anarchist. That will go there. This puts this back up to 2, puts this onto 1, puts this onto 2. We will then summon down our Master, which will put this to 2, this to 4. That will stay as it is. Remove 2 from United, 2 from the Master. Grab you Kizan. Let's grab us Kizan now. We'll remove 4 from here, grab us our Tactical Trainer, because we haven't actually special Tactical Trainer yet this turn, remember that. Whoopoo! Do we want to get another Synchro on the board before we do anything? Yeah, let's go for a Synchro 8. Just to clear off some space. Rip a card from our opponent's hand, I suppose, will be the benefit of that. So rip 1 from our opponent's hand just to clear off a bit of space there. And then you can special summon down Kizan to this zone. So you put a Bushido counter here. You put 1 on here. You put 2 on here. Special summon down the Tactical Trainer. This then goes up to 2. This then goes up to 4. Take away 2 from here. Take away 2 from... Always take off United, because otherwise it can only contain 2 Bushido counter max. Have we got all the Kizans? No, grab our last Kizan. Do I need another monster negate? Probably not. We're going second, so we'll synchro these two together. We'll go into a Nishi. We'll be able to put this up to 1, this will go up to 4, this will go up to 2, and then we'll be able to use Anishi's effect. So this one is, if this card is synchro zoned, you get to banish any number of 6-sound monsters from the graveyard, then target that many monsters your opponent controls and return those monsters to the hand. So we currently have 1, 2, 3, 4 that I would be happy banishing. So we'll banish these 4 here. We'll return 4 monsters from our opponent's field to the grave. Did I search out Asceticism early doors? No, I haven't even used Anarchist to search yet, so I kind of missed that, but I can get with that later. That's not fine. It's not an issue. So we've banished all of that. Keeping in mind that this will bring us back one of our banished monsters, which is where it's going to happen. So you end up removing, let's remove 4 from here. to grab us, let's grab a Grandmaster from the graveyard. Grandmaster, so special, put this to 2, put this to 2, special, oh, actually no, remove 2, first, grab us Hatsume. I think the only thing we've not played around is spell and trap interactions, but we can deal with that later. Special summon down Kizan, put 1 on here, put 2 on here. And then we go 1, 2, 3, and 4 with different names. Gets us into Skuldred. Skuldred, Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2 will be Anishi. Anishi will bring back our Anarchist, which will then put this up to 6, put this up to 2. And then we draw 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Put 3 back. Put these 3 back. We'll then Rota. Not sure what we're going to be searching for, to be honest. So we special Anarchist from the hand. I mean, I suppose Rota just searches you out, pretty much a follow-up for the next turn. Not that we're going to need it. We're going to be fine. Then remove 8 from the board. This will then allow us to add back a Kizan and a Kizan. So our hand's pretty stacked as you see fit. We then special down Hatsume off the back of Skuldred. Mandatory effect to give this attack stat boost. We'll give 1 there. We'll put 1, 2 there. Hatsume can banish. Let's banish Battle Shogun and Anishi. And we'll bring back a Kizan. Not that we needed to do that, but the idea was that this goes up to 2, or goes up to 4, sorry. This goes up to 2. Remove 2, remove 2. Gives us access to Grandmaster back to the hand. Synchro these 2 into a 6. Puts 1 on here, puts this to 4. I mean, this is all overkill right now. Like, none of this really makes a huge difference. But you can special summon down the Great Shogun. You can then special summon down... I mean, Kizan and Grandmaster are both going to be the same. So, it doesn't make much of a difference, really, which one you bring down, whether you bring down a Kizan or not. If you bring down Kizan, you can get a rank 4 on the board, but the rank 4 is not really going to do a huge amount for you. I don't think there's anything in the grave you really want to bring back. Like, we can make Hatsume 3200 attack, I think. Oh no, we can just go to Daguerre. Like, I mean, this is just getting greedy. So we'll go into Daguerre's. We'll summon down the Grandmaster. Obviously, we're going to be putting Bushido counters on this left, right, and centre. You then use Daguerre's to detach 2. Use the effect to skip the battle phase in the next turn, but double the attack of 1 monster you control until the end of the turn. So you can make any of these 5k boss monsters, or you can make Saruja a 56. So you go, okay, cool, battle phase. 56, 25, 25, 25, 21, 1200. So, not to mention as well, you can take away 2 Bushido counters from this, make this 5. Take away another 2, make this up by 5. So both of those are now going to be 3k boss monsters. So I suppose you can make these 3k and then can make them 6k mini monsters. Or you make one 35 and then make this a 7k mini monster. So you've got loads of different options there, which is pretty insane. And that's what happens when you don't risk it for the draw. You just maintain a card that can keep having Bushido counters on it. But of course, you either risk it for the draw, which gives you the discard to protect, but then you would have needed an extender, because if you didn't have the extender, you wouldn't have got enough Bushido counters on the board in order to get you to the end goal that you were looking for. Anyway, that is it for the video. I hope this has given you a bit more of an in-depth understanding of the deck and the way that it's played and everything else in between. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. As always, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. But if you do have any questions, no. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.